Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have James. James is from Austin, in Texas, in the USA. So let's see what James has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello, James. I'm very well. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Very good. So tell me, how's your day been so far?
It's just been a lazy day. I'm in between jobs, but it's not a sad story. Because of what's going on everywhere, I adjusted my priorities like everybody should be doing. And so I'm switching kind of my career path and where I'm going. So I actually took like 6 months off and took money out of retirement because God knows what they're doing with their money anyway. So I took the money to relax and change focus. So my days are easy as of right now. But how's your day been?
It's been good. Yeah, it's been busy as well as always. I think it's good to be busy. But yeah, it's great. It's Friday, so it feels great.
Yeah.
So tell me, can you talk a little bit about this transition of you now, like changing careers?
Me? I was a CVICU, like a cardiovascular intensive care nurse for 15 years, and I was a charge nurse. And with COVID and oh my God, everybody watching Fox News on the damn TV, I'm switching to either nonprofit. I'm tired of the hierarchy. The healthcare system is hogwash, and I just want to change and use my nursing for either something that's a little bit more, in the reason why I went into nursing, helping other people and not just being a slave for a system. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
I see. Right. So before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
I live in Texas, but I was born in Saudi Arabia, and I have a unique perspective. So it's always been kind of like I've been always kind of an outlier in regards to how I think, and that just kind of makes me interesting, I guess. Not special, just interesting.
So you were born in Saudi Arabia. So tell me how, like, your parents, they are from there, or how it happened?
My dad he worked for Aramco, so he was there in 1972, and he retired as VP of Halliburton not so long ago. But he was there for oil industry, so we lived on a small town. It was kind of like a suburban town, but it was all just a company town, and it was very interesting. You landed one channel, they controlled everything, but everybody was relatively happy because it was kind of like a utopian capitalistic socialistic society, because you had all your bills paid for, you had all your travel paid for. But we had three siblings, or two, there's three of us, but there was no kids over 13 because they all had to go to boarding school. And so they would have grades up to there, but all those kids turned out weird because they're thrown in with a bunch of rich kids in Europe and boarding schools. So my family didn't want to split the family up. So we moved to the United States, and the fear-based control in the United States compared to that, I mean, we moved to it was like 1986. So we all looked like hippie kids stuck in 1970, and we moved to Kentucky where everybody had Def Leppard hair and the big hairspray, and we all just had butt crack Texas Chainsaw Massacre hair, and it was different.
Interesting. And are you based now in Austin, in Texas? Yeah, Austin.
Yeah, in Austin. Yeah.
I see. So tell me, what do you like the most about living in Austin?
I mean, I do like the fact that it's a little bit more liberal, in like a liberal island in the caustic red state of Texas as of right now. So, but that does not make one special. Um, it's just at least there's a lot of like-minded individuals that are going through the same forced depression as the whole world. But yeah, go ahead. But yeah, it's always had pockets, so like you can seek like-minded people. But whereas like in Houston and Lubbock, it would be hard to find, and you'd be kind of isolated.
I see. James, I'm going to ask you a favor. Do you think you can turn around your phone so the camera can be more instead? Like, can you turn around, or it's quite difficult for you? You know what I mean?
Which way?
Yeah. Just yes. I think it's I can see you much better now. Now I can see you properly because I can see, horizontal. I can see you like that. It's perfect now.
Yeah, my laptop has a really crappy camera, so that's why I was just using my phone. I don't think about using Zoom on my phone.
it's no. I think that the camera on the phone is, for some reason, they are better than the computer. Can you imagine?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I'm just gonna don't be moving too much because I'm gonna see you like this.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Right. Hey James, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yes.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. This is my best friend, okay? Fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay? Let's do it. Okay, James, before we start the game, during the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
I love questions.
Right. First question for you is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Bucket list? I wish the world would unify. That's my bucket list. But I would like to travel more and love more. And that would be my 3 things.
Okay, let me...
I've done a lot, but I want to do those 3 things with authenticity and a new direction.
So you said about traveling, love, and the other one is?
I'd like to see the world unify.
I see. Which one do you think is gonna happen the first?
I'm gonna travel. I'm actually coming to England in less than a month.
Really?
I've never really traveled by myself, but I've always traveled with somebody, so it's always kind of what they want to do. So I'm actually meeting a friend in Windsor, and then I'm actually gonna go to Stoke-on-Trent to meet another friend, and both of them have very different points of views, and the purpose of seeing both of them are 100% unique. And it's not, I've done a lot of traveling, and it's always been about seeing places, and now I want to go to see people. And so that's what we do.
It's going to be your first time in England?
No, and actually my ex, who immigrated here, he's from Scotland. But I've only been to London, and I didn't particularly, it's okay, but it's just kind of, I didn't want to do the sightseeing there. I'd rather go in a country or go to a bar or pub and bullcorn with people.
All right. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, James, next question for you is, what is one food you could eat for the rest of your life?
Surprisingly enough, this actually just happened. Toasted English muffins with butter and apple butter. And behind that, probably jambalaya, which is a Cajun dish. It's a Cajun dish with like rice cooked with like tomato paste and sausage and some chicken. It's from Louisiana. My family's Cajun, and I could eat jambalaya all day long. So probably the second answer.
Wow. And saying that about, you like cooking?
Yeah, I do. But I'm not a natural cook. But when I was young and through high school, like I cooked every cookie. I'm a good baker, but I'm good with cooking in other people's kitchens because I don't have all the junk. But as long as someone has all the tools, I love cooking. But I don't actually have. I have a house, but I haven't stocked the kitchen. It's a sad thing.
What do you like to cook that your friends like? What do you cook that your friends like the most?
I guess gumbo, and then the favorite thing that I haven't made in a while, but is cornbread dressing for. Anyway, it's just a cornbread dressing with gizzards and all the other crap, but it sounds disgusting. But with that, and it's also everything I can cook is actually Cajun, but sausage and gravy. But that's like cooking down a bunch of vegetables with rice and chicken and sausage, of course.
It sounds very delicious. I love rice. Next question, let's do it. Right, before the next question, tell me about your career as a nurse, working healthcare. Tell me how everything started.
My mom, well, I kind of wanted to be a nurse from the begin with, and I actually got a scholarship to an Ivy League school, but my whole family's engineers, and this was 1996, and my dad didn't approve of that. But I did go to UT, and then my mom ended up getting cancer and passed away on hospice, and she became a nurse when I graduated high school. And so I went into nursing and kind of followed her footsteps, and it does align with me, but the healthcare system does not. And so I love nursing, and I don't like the money aspect.
I see. Yeah, I think it's hard work, as you know, like long hours, and but I think you need to love it because you deal with a lot of situations that you need to have the passion of looking after people and caring about people because
Yeah.
it's not a easy career.
Mm-hmm.
Next question for you is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where that would be and why?
Actually, probably Scotland. And the reason why is in America, you'll see people, like older people, walking and like doing their thing and having their morning walk. And I just can't see myself doing that in America at 70. But when I went on walks in Scotland, for some reason, that would make me happy. And so, like, if I ever could, I would live in Scotland just because the stroll, when it's not too dang cold, is beautiful. And yeah, that's it.
You said that your partner is from Scotland, you said.
Mm-hmm. He's from Inverness, around Loch Ness.
I see.
Way up there. And so, yeah, his family lives right next to Culloden Battlefield.
And have you been in Scotland before or not?
Yeah, I've been there a few times. We've been together almost 10 years.
Wow, beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question is, let's do it. Next question for you is, what is your most embarrassing moment?
The most embarrassing moment was, well, when I was young, I went to bed, and my mom, I used to try to hide it by washing the sheets before they got up. And then instead of sleeping in the empty bed, I would sleep in the bathtub. And when we just moved to Kentucky in 1986, they had a basement, and I was sleeping in a bathtub with the water on, but I fell asleep before I like. At any rate, I fell asleep and flooded the house. But it wasn't that bad, or at least I thought it wasn't that bad. And so I woke up and panicked, and throughout the whole way, I was only 9, but I was trying to clean all the water with bath, like, bed spreads. And I actually thought I did a pretty good job cleaning it up. But then I went and told the parents. And then when we went downstairs to the basement, it was all falling down. The water was falling down to the basement onto the ping pong table. And let's just
Wow.
say my dad was mad. But other than that, and they took it well. But the other one is probably, you remember that movie Twister?
It
The
rings a bell.
tornado movie?
It rings a
But
bell.
when that movie came out in high school, I was in a neighborhood and I was taking a right and my foot got stuck on the brake. And this is like midnight. And I actually kept going, and I had 3 friends in the car, and then instead of braking, I accelerated and I exploded this brick mailbox. And even my friend in the back seat, who was a foreign exchange student from Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic, but he was like, whoa, it was like Twister. But it was like midnight, and I had to go knock on the guy's door, and I wasn't drinking. I was a goody two-shoes. I had to go knock on the guy's door. This is probably way embarrassing than that. The bathtub. And then I told him, I was like, hey, I wrecked it to your mailbox. And he actually called the police. And he felt bad for me because I got a ticket for not doing whatever. But knocking on the door saying that I was a moron and ran into and exploded this guy's mailbox was very embarrassing. But he turns out to be Hakeem Olajuwon, the famous basketball player. It was his bodyguard, and he actually sent a letter to my parents stating, I'm sorry I called the cops because I don't really meet good kids. And so I just assumed he was drinking.
Oh my God.
And my dad actually went and got 2 of the bricks and made a trophy out of it and says, the point to life is to get to where you're going. Don't let this bother you too much. But yeah, it was embarrassing, let's just say.
Tell me something, James. How was growing up as a gay boy in your experience?
It was fine for me. Much. My parents gave me unconditional love, so I never had to question that within myself. But I mean, we did go to church and stuff like that, but my mom kept getting kicked out because anytime they mentioned they didn't believe in evolution, she'd throw a hissy fit and we would get kicked out of church. But to me, I was quite innocent. And so when preachers would state stuff about gay things, I would be like, that's weird. And to me, it's really odd that a 12-year-old boy can question the empathy of spiritual leaders. And so I never got too bitter about it. I just realized that people will believe what they want to believe, and people like to have an enemy. And if they have an enemy, then they can passively feel good about themselves. And so you just be a good example and you poop on them later. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, it was hard, and I wasn't sexually active, so I was lucky to 21, and unfortunately, a lot of people develop self-loathing issues, and they get trapped into a lot of scenarios because they think the world hates them. That keeps them very isolated within their mind for a very long time, and it's unfortunate. But my parents showed me unconditional love, so I know I'm very privileged and lucky in that regard.
I see. And the day when you came out, did something happen, or you just felt like, okay, I'm just gonna do it for itself?
That, well, I wasn't doing well at school in college. A lot of drinking, you know what I'm talking about. But I was, I had to go home for a semester, but it was good because I was able to take care of my mom while she was sick. And my dad, when I wasn't doing well at school, he kind of gave me a pep talk. And the pep talk wasn't that well. And he was like, well, if you're not going to be a doctor, you're not going to be an engineer, then you're kind of nothing. Wasn't the best pep talk, but I understood his intention, but it did make me resentful. So I had to go see a psychologist, but it was halfway to get my grades retroactive withdrawals. But my mom was sick and I was helping her. And so my mom sat me down and she wanted to know what was going on. And the reason why she was so empathetic about this is because her best friend in high school was her cousin. And her cousin, she suspected was lesbian. And her cousin happened to drive into a semi and unaligned herself when in high school. So that was always on her radar. So when she asked me why I was depressed, I was like, well, I'm not doing that good in school. One, I said there's three things. I'm not doing that good in school. And two, you're sick and probably gonna die. And then three, and I hesitated because I wanted to say what Dad said, but I didn't want to throw him under the bus. And when I hesitated, she goes, is it because you're homosexual? And I was like, no, I'm over that. And I was a virgin. So my mom already knew, and it was refreshing to come out that way to her. I was already out to my friends, but she never actually told my dad. I thought she did.
Yeah.
She never actually told my dad, and I thought she did, but she passed away, and I almost went to the military, and I was eating breakfast with my dad and a bunch of my sister's friends, and one of her friends goes, hey, I didn't go. And then luckily I didn't go. 3 months after was 9/11. So I would have been straight out of boot camp, all up in that mess. But one of my sister's friends said, well, at least they don't have don't ask, don't tell anymore. And so my dad texted my sister because obviously since they said that, they insinuated I was gay. And he texted my sisters like, we have to tell James if he's gay that I still love him and blah, blah, blah. So I was kind of outed, but I thought mom told him and he was just being quiet about it. But yeah, he's a good guy.
Oh, very good. Next question. Let's do it, James. Hey, James from Texas. Next question is, would you ever get a tattoo and what that would be?
I thought about this for a long time and I never thought I would get a tattoo, but I now have 3 in the last year and a half, but I drew it myself. And because of my background in Saudi Arabia, how there's a lot of symmetry in like the Persian rugs, and I'm just a symmetry nerd. So I just made my own in shapes. And I have one on my back, and then I have the same tattoo on the side. And I just drew it on a computer, and I just think they're neat. But they're just shapes.
And what's the meaning of them?
They have personal meaning, but it's just about balance and dualities, and they're just pretty. Like when I was at a water park and someone's like, I like your sacred geometry. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I drew this shit in 5 minutes. Sorry to cuss. But yeah. But I drew it in 10 minutes on a computer, and it has personal meaning to me, but it's aesthetically pleasing to other people. And to me, it's nice that I know the meaning and no one else does. But it's just about balancing and, 4 elements and some animals and blah, 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 blah.
And you're gonna get some more in the future or not?
I don't think so. I mean, I could, but I'm not rich. No, I'm just joking. And I can't really spend money on that now.
I see. Ready for another question?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Next one. James, before the next question, tell me something. People, they stop you sometimes because your beautiful blue eyes. Sometimes people kind of point them. And also, the second part of the question is, did you ever had a modeling career as well? I was checking your profile. I could see some beautiful pictures.
No, not at all. But thank you for the compliment. But I actually that just recently I got those pictures done just from a friend. And I was like, well, my friend needs money and I'll take some pictures. But actually, I didn't realize it, but it's kind of a family thing. My great aunt told me my only reason. But for some reason, I don't look in the mirror. So I don't really. So all my other pictures, I mean, are on vacation or something, and just like I always have to. I always have to have a secondary reason to take a picture, other than. And so that was those kind of semi-professional pictures were my first pictures to show off myself. But no, I've never done modeling or anything like that. And I've never particularly categorized myself as handsome. But I am a little bit on the autistic side. And I remember, funny enough about the eye thing, one of my college friends saw me in college. One of my high school friends saw me in college. And I'm very literal. And she was like, I had a baby blue sweater on. She was like, your sweater matches your eyes. And I was just like, I know. That's why I bought it. And then she kind of made a face, and I was like, but it's a statement. It's not a compliment. You're just stating a fact that my shirt looks like my eyes. And I was like, you didn't say my shirt was pretty. Sorry.
And did you always have long hair as well?
No, that's I always had shorter hair, except for I saw my high school pic recently, and actually my hair in high school was it was less than this, but little bit of the same length. So maybe I'm going back to my roots or something.
I see. Okay. Mm-hmm. Next question for you is tough question now for you. If your plane was going down, yeah, and you could call just one person to say goodbye, who that would be and why?
Don't judge me. But through like the last 2 years, there's been some difficult times. And one person has particularly helped me. And I would probably call him because I know the other people, everybody knows that I love them and stuff like that. But this one person in particular, I would want for him to have that closure. Yeah.
Okay, and let's pretend that you are in this call right now with this person. What would you say? What if you could say the last thing that you could say to this person? How much this person means to you? What would you say?
Understood that just believe in yourself and just be your authentic, beautiful self, and that is all you need to know. And if you're just create honest memories, that you'll always find hope.
All right. 3 questions left for you, James. Let's do it. Next question is, what was your worst wardrobe mistake?
Oh, God. This one's bad. So okay. And like I said, I was a goody two shoes, and I was a virgin, let's just say. So I worked right next to the gay bars in Austin in around 2000. And I was a busser at a place called Spaghetti Warehouse. And my best friend was a waitress there. And she was, she would always do the tables for the guy who headed up the male strippers. And they always went to her tables and they tipped big. And I didn't have a lot of money. And the bussers, we wore an apron that would go from your waist to your ankles. And luckily enough, we would go to the gay bars after work, and I was in all black. And I was like, shoot, I don't have to change my clothes. And I was like, I can. So every time I went to the bar, I was in my all black work outfit. But my zipper broke, and but I had the apron at work. And I was like, no one can tell at the bar. And so it was my 22nd birthday. And actually, I did start dating somebody. And that turned out to be a mess because he's a bartender. But it was my 22nd birthday. And I went to the bar, and the strippers were stripping that night. And they knew it was my birthday. And I was like standing there supporting them, sitting around, like standing around the dance floor. And one of the ones I knew came up to me, and I was like, oh, why is he coming up to me? And he's looking at my eyes, and as he walks up to me, he grabs into my pants through my open fly, my penis, and then brings me out. But he didn't like take it out. His just hand was on it, and then he brings me out into the dance floor by my wiener. And let's just say it was embarrassing, but memorable, I guess. I got new pants after that.
I'm sure you're never gonna forget your 22nd birthday.
Well, yeah.
2 questions left. Let's do it. Hey, James, before the next question, through your career working in healthcare, tell me one moment, one situation that you go like, you know what? I'll never forget this moment, something special that happened to you.
It was probably early on, and why I leaned towards more, I mean, with my mom passing away on hospice, when patients are ready to go, it's not particularly sad. It's more so sad for some of the family members, but when the family members are also ready, then it's a beautiful thing. And there was when I was a new grad, this one guy was passing away, and it was right towards the end of my shift, and we did tell the family, you can never know when they're gonna pass. And the family called the wife, and we allowed them, or at least I broke the rules a little bit, but I let them bring in their little Pomeranian too. And it was just the timing. Like I was about to get off work, and then right when I was about to get off, and I was being really present with the family, and then the wife showed up finally, not finally in a negative way. It was like 7 a.m, and it was with the dog, and they put the dog in the bed, and like within minutes of the wife getting there, he passed away. And so it was really beautiful, and I cried, and I cried in a not negative way. And I appreciate that memory.
Wow, beautiful. My goodness. Yeah, those moments, there are moments that we're never going to forget, as you were there. And it's something that's always going to have a place in your heart. Thanks for sharing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next question for you is, what is your idea of a perfect friendship?
A perfect friendship is just, and that's what people don't especially in society today, people don't love is love, and if there is people understand that there's love between friends is kind of the greatest love because it can be consistent and persistent and it lasts over time. The other stuff lasts as well, but there's a lot of warlike, antagonistic, whatever. And it's just mainly my suggestion of what a good friendship is just being present and being honest that you have the time to be present because people ebb and flow out of life. So even so you just my thing is that you just when you spend time together that you make it authentic and present. And if you're not able to do that or if you're distracted with life, then that's what I guess therapy is for. But a lot of people then use friends as therapists. You're like, but that's not really being present. That's giving everyone a function. And whereas like if you facilitate, and that's what I mean, friends should always facilitate each other, no matter what their dreams are.
And your best friends, they live in Austin as well, in Texas or not?
I kind of pick a friend and do hyper focus throughout my life. And so I don't have a particular friend group, but I'll gravitate towards certain people and we kind of will really click for a while. And then you both assist each other in redefining yourself. And then you can move forward in the present. And that's what friends are supposed to do. When you meet new people, you're supposed to assist each other to define yourself in the present, and that's very grounding.
Okay, ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Last question. Let's do it, James. But before the last question, the beginning of the interview, you mentioned that you've been almost 10 years with your partner right now, yeah? So tell me, through those long years, tell me what's the most beautiful lesson you've learned from him so far?
You can't fix people.
Sorry?
No, you can't fix people. So just wishing and hoping that people turn a corner doesn't work. And so even if it hurts, you have to be authentic and honest. And if your partner doesn't realize how their behavior or perspective of life affects you, then that just will lead towards isolation within and it will disrupt whatever. So I never was a big proponent of polyamory, but I mean, we have broken up, but we still live together and we both facilitate and support each other. And it's kind of like, and finally, we're not enemies.
See. Okay.
But that's just because of, and that's what I mean. Love is supposed to be honest. And now, instead of being stuck, feeling like he's less than for 10, 20 more years, we're both helping each other in our new step. So he's dating and I'm talking about it. And then I'm meeting new people, but relationships are traumatic. I think I'm done with them. I'm kidding. It's actually a very happy story. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Last question for you is, what is the funniest or the strangest gift have you ever received?
I guess it is strange. Okay, so my sister gave me a gift, and there is a backstory to it. And this is the only reason why it's strange, because the gift was a narwhal, a toy narwhal and it was impaling a penguin. But the reason why it's funny is that we were obsessed with nature stuff. This will be quick. And so we always like to go to natural history museums. And I went to the Chicago Natural History Museum with her. I was like 25. and we were sitting there drinking coffee. And like I said, I'm very literal, and I was very well versed in all science. And we were drinking coffee, and behind us was like this wall that was 2 stories tall. And on this wall, there were different whales, and I guess they were like stuffed. And so we were like sipping in coffee, and I looked at that whale, and I was like, Jennifer, why in this respectable museum do they have this whale with a horn glued on it? And my sister looked at me and she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, that's fake. These kids are going to get duped. And then she was like, what do you mean? That's a narwhal. And I was like, that's not real. And it was just funny that, like, I was so obsessed with nature, but I literally I never knew that narwhals existed until then. And so that gift, it seems silly, but that's why it's so funny to me.
Great memories. Okay, James, what ends yet? Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay? So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. One word for money.
I just did resources, but
okay. Family.
Love.
One word for life.
Live.
Sex.
Enjoy.
Okay. Love.
Kindness.
Politics.
Rubbish.
Religion.
Apathetic.
Fear.
Unnecessary.
Friendship.
Necessary.
Desire.
Love.
Regret.
I guess failure.
Okay. Success.
Contentment.
Wish.
Fulfillment.
Happiness.
Desire.
One word for Austin.
Austin, Texas?
Yeah.
Hippies.
One word for USA.
Rough.
One word for Saudi Arabia.
Desert.
Okay. And the last one now, healthcare. One word.
Trap.
Okay. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, what is the most beautiful thing about James, and what's something that he still needs to work on, to improve on? What your best friend would say?
My best thing is understanding and is the best thing. And then what I want, what I need to work on is believing that people have good intentions all the time.
Okay.
I always give people the benefit of the doubt. Even if they screw me over, I'm going to keep doing it.
Let's play now, James and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, James, you can ask me a question now.
Just one?
You can ask me two.
I'm trying to think if it's supposed to be overarching or just specific questions.
What comes to your mind?
What's the greatest hope of the conglomeration of these interviews?
Wow, I love the question. And guess what? I had like over 800 people on the show so far, almost 900. And if I'm not wrong, I don't think no one ever asked this question yet. And I'll tell you now, the answer straight away came to my mind. I think the biggest hope of the show, actually, through through those interviews, I kind of, when I started the show, I didn't have any expectation. For me, it was just to connect with someone, have some fun, laugh about it, have a moment, make memories, yeah. But I realized that the show somehow it went in a direction that I was expecting. Yeah, for example, people connect with other people on the globe. People open up, so like you did, like open up about things that maybe they never talked to anyone, or maybe they didn't feel comfortable talking. Those kind of things. And I realized that people, they kind of they feel in a safe place to talk about somehow the connection with me or with the show itself. And I remember once somebody asked me in the end of the interview, a lovely man, I remember now, a lovely man from Atlanta. He asked me, William, if you have a superpower, what that would be? Yeah. And I told him that if I had a superpower, I would go around the world touching people's heads and open their minds. People who had this way of thinking very close. Yeah. And I would go around the world, just open their minds, just for them to be more understanding and approachable. And he said, actually, you are doing that right now. The show, it's about that. And actually, I didn't think about that until he said that. And it makes a little bit of sense. And I was like, oh my God, that's true. Somehow, because of my guests, they are open up about some, challenges in their lives, or positivity or negativity, or think that they are talking in a way they're open people's minds, because they are being vulnerable. They are showing something that maybe people they didn't understand, or maybe they never talked about, and include myself as well. When you mention about polyamory, a relationship like an open relationship, this kind of this, let's say, quite popular right now. The first time that I heard these words, actually, it was in the show. And I was a bit confused because I had an interview with someone, and he started talking about, he said, oh, I have a boyfriend there, and I was a bit confused with the situation that I could understand. And he started talking about it. And I was like, oh my God, that's interesting. And I had so many people on the show that they have a open relationship or polyamory, or so somehow it opened my mind somehow, because I never of course, I knew that people could have a relationship, but not this way. I never kind of thought about it. It's just an example, yeah? But I'll tell you, James. So in a way, James, if the show is open my mind, it's kind of make me reflect or understanding more. Imagine people watching the interview now, talking about different topics, or watching somebody talking at different topics as well. So somehow it's open their people minds. So back to your question, I think the biggest hope now, after that, after kind of understood a little bit, is just about people express themselves, and also letting people connect with us somehow, and also open their minds as well. So the whole thing of the show is about that. It's about people being themselves, and somehow they have a voice, they can talk. And imagine now people around the world watch this interview right now, and they're gonna connect with you because of your your past career, or because your love with your family, your mom, your dad. So anything could be, with your eyes, maybe your blue eyes, maybe. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Here's a snippet, and you can use this. It's not good. I was like, thoughts have matter, and memories matter, and people are sharing your memories, and so you're exchanging validation, and that provides human interconnection. And the only way forward is human interconnection. So I think, and that's what I mean. Thoughts have matter. You could use physics. Thoughts have matter, and utilizing your drive and other people's experiences, memories, positiveness, authenticity, that provides you with acceleration. And that's what I mean. That keeps you grounded, that keeps you having the fire within you. And it's a beautiful thing to watch and see. And I appreciate that you are maintaining that hope. And I hope you get everything you deserve.
Oh, that's so sweet, you're saying that. Thanks so much. And
You're welcome.
believe me, I'm the lucky one because you have no idea how fascinating it is to me to talk to so many people around the globe, coming back from different backgrounds, different beliefs, different ways of approaching life. And literally for me to have a moment with them, again, making memories with them, it's just, for me, it's a bless. I think you
Yeah.
know, I'll tell you something now. I meant to do this show because if I would see someone doing that, I would be like, oh my God, I would love to be doing that, you know? So it's something so powerful for me that I wake up every single day thinking about it. I go to bed every single day thinking about it. And it's just amazing. I can't wait. When I send this request on Zoom to my guest, and when I see their face for the very first time, for me, I forget about the world outside. I'm just now connected, and that for me is very powerful. So thanks so much for taking the time, for being so
Well,
kind.
thank you.
It was so interesting because when I contact you, you straight away, yes, let's do it. I love it, and it's amazing. But before you go, James, if you can share a positive message or something that you live by.
I guess I wrote something and I'll just give it to you. I said, this is about 2 sentences, but I was saying like, and this is positive, but it seems negative. But it's when a fruit looks down at its roots and considers them dirty, the inevitable occurs. And you can always change your variables at any point in time, even if you feel like you led your life to a place where you didn't want to be. And you can always change your variables. And it's not bad, it's indoctrination. And once you open yourself up, it's just up to you to gravitate and accelerate in the way you have. So
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Regards, and we keep in touch. Thanks so much for being part of the show. Okay.
Right. Thanks, William. Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.